Hello my dear audience, in today's review I'm going to take a look at a wonderful, gorgeous as well as powerful AIO liquid cooler all in white by the well-known manufacturer Enermax. This cooling solution goes by the name of LiqMax 3 ARGB 360 White. And yup, loyal subscribers of this channel might be experiencing some sort of déjà vu now, because I did in fact review this liquid cooler in the past already, but in its rather standard, more common black edition if you will. This in turn means, when it comes to performance, I right off the bat can give you a very simple answer. In theory, in the tests, there should neither be 1 degree more nor less in terms of cooling performance between the two color variants. Of course, you need to take into consideration some anomalies of testing, as well as minor differences from one product to another. After all, no product out there is truly identical to the next one. So if you're into white PC builds, this unit could be very interesting for you. Now, what does pricing look like? Well, whereas you're paying about $100 for the black version of this cooler, for the white one, you're shelling out about $105 to $110. Slightly more. This is because white hardware isn't as common, I believe. We don't have masses of it in the market. White, after all, always is a bit of a fashion thing, and fashion tends to come and go, as we all know. While there definitely are people out there buying white components, they're certainly in the minority. So we could indeed bring up a good point of this being more something of a niche product. But enough beating around the bush, let's get to the things that do matter. As for what comes included in the box, Enermax is always very generous with their AIOs. We pretty much get everything we need and could need. This also includes an ARGB controller, ARGB splitter cable, as well as an adapter for gigabyte motherboards, fan splitter cable, a small SATA adapter to power the pump with SATA power if you wanted to, and then we are also getting a small tube of thermal paste. Needless to say, we are getting paper documentation along with the cooling unit and fans. I personally find it great that Enermax goes all in with this one, keeping all the fan frames, rubber pads, as well as cables all in white. Many other manufacturers take this simpler route and just go with black cables, but then again I have to point out that the included accessories by Enermax is in fact black and not white. A real beauty in my opinion is the white radiator. In terms of build quality, aluminum by the way, it makes a very solid impression, albeit a thickness of 27mm is pretty ordinary. The highlight of the show, as so often with Enermax units, is the pump, or rather Waterblock. This time around with quite a lot of elements in white. This Waterblock design they're calling Aura build, besides Deepcool's Castle EX AIO series ARGB implementation, counts to one of the prettiest in the market for me personally. The LEDs are being controlled by plugging in that included cable into the Waterblock. In fact, that included ARGB controller turns out not too shabby. While it doesn't provide a whole lot of lighting effects, those that come with it are pretty good. Something I always love seeing is when fans do actually come with standard 3-pin ARGB connectors, which can be daisy-chained, so no proprietary mess going on here. Nice. The whole lighting can also be plugged into pretty much any motherboard out there, as long as it has a modern 5-volt ARGB header on it. To reduce vibration noises, every single fan here comes equipped with rubber pads. Such are pretty much a must in my opinion. Metal fittings in this price range unfortunately cannot realistically be expected. Nonetheless, the quality found on here seems decent. Really nice is that elegant, nice white tubing, coming in at a length of 400mm, which is plenty. Furthermore, according to Enermax, we are dealing with polyamide rubber tubing with multiple layers. The heart of this unit, of course, is the pump. Apparently it comes with a ceramic bearing. Also, it seems we're getting a dual chamber design here, so 2 chambers, one of which isolates the heated coolant, which then gets transported to the radiator. The theory of a prolonged lifespan therefore sounds good, but then again, those manufacturers, generally speaking, could tell us anything at this point. When it comes to longevity, only long-term tests over a span of years can truly deliver results. Enermax is going for a bare copper base and pretty much offers support for close to every single CPU socket by Intel and AMD respectively, Well, that is except AMD Threadripper. Due to that CPU's huge heat spreader, we do not actually get green light with each and every cooling solution out there. The installation went all hassle-free with the usual Enermax brackets and backplate. All that stuff, or at least the most crucial things, are out of metal here when it comes to mounting hardware. As for noise levels, I really can't complain. Under normal circumstances, neither pump nor fans can be considered loud. In fact, quite the contrary, I would go with fairly quiet. But needless to say, you can make everything ramp up and produce some noise too. It really depends on the user's settings. We are being promised a cooling capacity of up to 360 watts. I'm, however, as always testing with my AMD Ryzen 7 3800X that I've assigned for my CPU cooler testing 1 or 2 years ago. Now these are my temperature results. As I've told you already in the beginning of this video, there is no difference in cooling performance between the black and white version of this LiqMax 3 ARGB 360. Overall though, one can't help but notice that such a cooler by Enermax, especially when keeping the pricing in mind, delivers some extraordinary performance. You're pretty much at the top of the list with such a unit. Enermax's strongest competitor most likely is Arctic. The Liquid Freezer 2 series is just as good and also brings a lot of cooling performance for fairly little money to the table. That is when comparing AIO versus AIO. Air coolers, generally speaking, tend to always offer the better price-to-performance ratio, but that's not the point of today's video. A lot of us enthusiasts do want to go with a liquid cooler. Where Enermax, on the other hand, one-ups Arctic is lighting, ARGB. It may or may not meet everyone's taste out there, but a decent implementation of lighting does tend to cost money too. So Arctic and Enermax go neck and neck. Both go for a similar approach of offering us consumers an amazing bang for the buck, good value. So those of you that want to go white will certainly end up being quite happy with the Enermax LiqMax 3 ARGB 360 white. But you can actually get the same cooler with the same exact lighting a little cheaper in black, especially in Europe. With that said, thanks so much for watching, take care, and until next time.